Kindness is often celebrated as one of the highest virtues. We hear phrases like, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle you cannot see." These words resonate deeply, encouraging us to lead with compassion and empathy in our daily lives. And while being kind often brings a sense of fulfillment and peace, there are moments when our kindness is met with anything but appreciation. Have you ever experienced this? Perhaps someone took advantage of your generosity or dismissed your goodwill altogether. This paradox, the idea that kindness can sometimes invite misunderstanding or even disrespect, is one that many of us grapple with. This dilemma isn't unique to modern times. Even the Buddha, renowned for his infinite compassion and wisdom, encountered ridicule and rejection during his journey. If someone as enlightened as the Buddha faced such challenges, it's clear that kindness alone, while powerful, isn't always enough. Zen masters have explored this paradox for centuries, teaching that kindness must be accompanied by wisdom and discernment. Without balance, they warn, kindness can lead to imbalance, exploitation, and even harm, not just for the giver, but for those around them. Today, we'll delve deeper into why acts of kindness sometimes invite disrespect and how Buddhist teachings can guide us toward a more balanced, empowered approach to compassion. To illustrate this, let's begin with a story, a timeless lesson that highlights the importance of boundaries and self-respect. In a tranquil monastery surrounded by nature, there lived a young disciple who prided himself on being kind. He believed that his unwavering compassion was a testament to his understanding of the teachings. Each day, he went above and beyond to help those around him. He carried heavy loads for his fellow disciples, offered his meals to those in need, and never turned down a request for help, no matter how burdensome it might have been. At first, his kindness earned him widespread admiration. People praised his selflessness and spoke of him as a model of compassion. The disciple basked in the glow of their compliments, feeling assured that he was walking the righteous path. But as time passed, he began to notice a shift. The same people who once celebrated his kindness started taking it for granted. They began leaving their responsibilities unfinished, knowing he would complete them. Some even began speaking to him with harshness, confident he wouldn't stand up for himself. The disciple grew confused and disheartened. How had his kindness, once a source of respect, become a reason for indifference and even disrespect? Seeking answers, he turned to his teacher, a wise Zen master known for his deep understanding of human nature. "Master," the disciple asked one evening, "why does my kindness bring me disrespect? Am I not living according to the teachings of compassion?" The master smiled gently as if he had anticipated this question. "Let me share a story with you," he said. "Once there was a river that flowed through a dense forest," the master began. "The river was generous, offering its water to all who came. Animals quenched their thirst, trees grew strong along its banks, and travelers rested beside it, replenishing themselves with its clear waters. The river never turned anyone away." The disciple listened intently as the master continued. But as time passed, the animals began to muddy the river's waters without care. The travelers polluted it with waste, and the trees extended their roots deep into the river, drawing more water than they needed. Over time, the once clear river grew murky, and its flow diminished. The river, feeling depleted, spoke to the forest and asked, "Why do you treat me this way? I have given you life, yet you exploit my kindness." The master paused before delivering the forest's reply. "Because you do not set boundaries," the forest said. "We assumed you did not mind." The disciple reflected on the story, feeling its weight. "Master," he asked, "what should the river have done?" "The river must learn," the master replied, "that kindness without wisdom is like an overflowing cup. True kindness knows when to give and when to withhold, not out of selfishness, but to maintain harmony. This response struck the disciple deeply. His kindness, though sincere, had lacked balance. By giving indiscriminately, he had unintentionally created an environment where his efforts were taken for granted. His actions weren't flawed, but they were incomplete. They lacked the discernment necessary to foster genuine respect and mutual growth. Kindness, the Master continued, must be rooted in self-respect. People are like mirrors, reflecting how you treat yourself. If you give endlessly without setting boundaries, some will see it as virtue, but others will see it as weakness. This isn't because kindness is flawed, but because the human mind often mistakes silence for submission and generosity for lack of strength. Hearing this, the disciple hesitated before asking, "Does this mean I should stop being kind?" The Master shook his head. "Not at all," he said. "Stop being indiscriminately kind. True kindness uplifts both the giver and the receiver. A kindness that diminishes your spirit is not kindness. It is self-sacrifice that leads to imbalance." The next day, the Master gave the disciple a task. "Go into the village and offer help where it is needed," he instructed. "But this time, be mindful. Watch how people respond and how you feel." The disciple followed his teacher's advice, eager to apply the lesson. At first, he helped everyone who asked, just as he always had. But soon, he began to notice patterns. Some people accepted his help with genuine gratitude, while others treated his generosity as their entitlement. They demanded more without consideration for his time or energy. The disciple remembered the Master's words. When faced with unreasonable requests, he started to politely decline. To his surprise, this changed how others treated him. Those who respected him began to view him as an equal, appreciating his kindness as a choice rather than an obligation. Meanwhile, those who had exploited his generosity grew angry, but their frustration only revealed their true intentions. When the disciple returned to the monastery, the Master greeted him with a knowing smile. "Now you understand," the Master said. "Kindness without boundaries invites disrespect. By setting limits, you protect yourself and teach others to value your kindness." This lesson wasn't just about the disciple's experience, it was a universal truth. Kindness, while noble, must be paired with discernment to thrive. Boundaries are not barriers, they are expressions of respect for yourself and others. They signal that your kindness is intentional and sustainable, not an endless resource to be exploited. The disciple reflected deeply on the Master's wisdom. He realized that kindness was not about endlessly giving or pleasing others. It was about creating harmony. True kindness requires balance between giving and protecting, between helping others and preserving yourself. Without boundaries, kindness becomes a sacrifice that drains the giver and teaches others to take without appreciation. As the disciple began setting boundaries, he noticed something remarkable. Not only did he feel more at peace, but his acts of kindness became more meaningful. By saying no to unreasonable demands, he created space to help those who truly needed and valued his support. His energy was no longer wasted on those who sought to exploit him, and his relationships became more genuine. In Buddhist philosophy, this balance is a central teaching. Kindness, like all things, must flow in harmony. When we give without replenishing ourselves, our kindness becomes unsustainable, like a river running dry. However, when we nurture our own well-being, we create a reservoir of compassion that can uplift both ourselves and others. This harmony allows kindness to thrive without leading to resentment or exhaustion. One of the most profound teachings in Zen philosophy is the concept of compassion without attachment. Often, we give with the hope of receiving something in return, be it gratitude, approval, or recognition. But this expectation ties our happiness to external outcomes, making us vulnerable to disappointment. True kindness, the masters teach, is an offering given freely, without attachment. It flows from a place of inner strength, not a need for validation. The disciple learned that letting go of attachment didn't mean he cared less. It meant his kindness was no longer controlled by others' reactions. He gave because it aligned with his values, not because he sought approval or recognition. This shift liberated him, allowing him to remain at peace even when his kindness wasn't reciprocated. His actions became a reflection of his character rather than a transaction. Setting boundaries also taught the disciple an important lesson about empowering others. In the past, his indiscriminate kindness had often enabled irresponsibility. By constantly stepping in to solve others' problems, he had unknowingly prevented them from taking responsibility for their actions. Through his master's guidance, he learned that true kindness sometimes requires stepping back, allowing others to grow through their own challenges. Empowering others doesn't diminish kindness, it enhances it, fostering independence and mutual respect. Over time, the disciple began to notice a profound transformation, not only in how others treated him, but in how he felt about himself. Those who once exploited his kindness now approached him with greater respect. They understood that his generosity was a choice, not an obligation. And while some reacted negatively to his boundaries, he realized their frustration wasn't his burden to bear. It was a reflection of their expectations, not his worth. This transformation wasn't always easy. There were moments when the disciple doubted himself, wondering if his boundaries made him selfish or unkind. But each time he returned to his master's teachings. Kindness must flow like water, the master had said. It is gentle yet strong, adaptable yet unyielding. When kindness is rooted in self-respect, it inspires admiration, not pity. The disciple found strength in this metaphor. Just as water nourishes life while carving through stone, kindness can be both soft and powerful. It doesn't mean bending to every demand or sacrificing yourself for others' comfort. Instead, it means acting with intention, ensuring your compassion uplifts both the giver and the receiver. As the disciple embraced this balance, he also began to nurture himself in ways he hadn't before. He realized that self-care was not a luxury or selfish indulgence. It was essential. Just as a river cannot nourish the land if it runs dry, he could not sustain his kindness if he neglected his own well-being. By taking time to recharge and reflect, he found that his kindness grew more abundant and authentic. The disciple also embraced the practice of mindfulness, pausing before every act of kindness to ask himself a simple question. Is this action coming from a place of strength, or am I seeking approval? This reflection allowed him to act with clarity and intention, ensuring that his kindness was empowering rather than depleting. Through his journey, the disciple came to understand that kindness is a powerful force, but its strength lies in its balance. When paired with wisdom, boundaries, and self-respect, kindness becomes transformative, not just for the giver, but for everyone it touches. It fosters genuine connections, inspires mutual growth, and creates a ripple effect of compassion that extends far beyond individual acts. For those of us seeking to embody this balance, the disciple's story offers valuable lessons. First, pause and reflect before giving. Ask yourself whether your kindness is coming from a place of abundance or a need for validation. By acting with intention, you ensure that your kindness is meaningful and sustainable. Second, embrace the power of boundaries. Saying no doesn't make you unkind. It's an act of self-respect that teaches others to value your generosity. Boundaries create space for genuine relationships and prevent your kindness from being exploited. Third, Let go of attachment. True compassion is an offering, not a transaction. When you release the need for approval or gratitude, your kindness becomes a reflection of your inner strength and values. This detachment protects your peace, allowing you to give freely without losing yourself. Fourth, balance giving and receiving. Allow yourself to accept kindness from others, understanding that this reciprocity is essential for sustaining compassion. Just as a river needs rain to replenish its waters, you need care and support to nourish your spirit. Finally, embody both softness and strength. Let your kindness flow like water, gentle enough to inspire connection, yet strong enough to maintain boundaries. This harmony ensures that your kindness is respected and valued, not taken for granted. The next time you feel your kindness is being exploited or dismissed, remember the lesson of the river and the forest. Kindness, when practiced without discernment, can lead to depletion and imbalance. But when paired with wisdom, it becomes a source of strength, empowering both the giver and the receiver. Thank you for watching this video and for being open to exploring these teachings. If you found this message insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit. Let's spread the wisdom of balanced kindness and self-respect, creating a world where compassion is both abundant and empowering. And before you go, take a moment to affirm your intention by commenting below with the mantra, "I choose kindness with wisdom." This simple act reinforces your commitment to practicing compassion in a way that uplifts everyone, including yourself. Stay tuned for more Zen and Buddhist teachings that inspire personal growth and inner peace. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, let your kindness flow like water, gentle yet powerful, adaptable yet unyielding. See you in the next video.